Hi all, I am Professor Disha Shukla and I am conducting the subject Wireless Communication. My today's topic is improving coverage and capacity in a cellular system. So, the events that occur when a call is made from a mobile telephone and the cellular network deals with the frequency allocation due to the increasing demand of the mobile phones. That is, whenever a call is made from a handset, you need to allocate different frequencies or different channels for the call to be connected, and for this we need there is a lot of demand, or there is an increasing demand for the channel allocation. So as the number of users in a cellular system increases, then the traffic per unit time also increases. Obviously, as the number of users in a particular system will increase, so the traffic associated with that number of users also increases. So what happens is that the allocated spectrum becomes gradually congested and eventually it becomes used up. That is, we have different allocations, that is different spectrums are allocated to different users, and when the number of users in those spectrum increases, then it will result into congestion means a traffic jam, and eventually it will become used up. That is, all the available frequency band will be used up. The congestion of the spectrum means that the call blocking probability has increased, and this is not desired in a system. So as and when the congestion increases, there will be increase in the call blocking, because whenever a user will try to connect, he will not be able to connect to the network because the frequency is used up, or the spectrum that is allocated to that user or to that frequency band is used up. So what will happen is that the chances of call being blocked will increases, and this is something that we don't desire in a system. So as the cellular concept allows every piece of the channel, so that any mobile may use anywhere within the region. That is, the cellular concept allows that every piece of a subscriber equipment within a country or a continent to a manufactured with the same set of channels. That is, all the users or all the mobile units that we have, all of them are devised, all those devices are designed in such a manner that within a country or a continent, those are manufactured with the same set of channels, so that any mobile can be used from anywhere within the region. It also has to show the probability that an increase in a channel capacity will directly reduce the call blocking probability. So what happens is, it has to it increase the increase in the channel capacity will directly reduce the call blocking probability, and it will also decrease the delay probability. So the utilization of the spectrum in the cellular network is frequency reuse and microcellular system and multiple access systems. So the buffer and the administration techniques are used to reduce the congestion by fading. So the congestion that occurs by fading, they can be reduced by the buffer administration techniques or the co-channel interference and the handovers that we use. So the capacity of a cellular system is a function of many variables. The system to interference ratio in a propagation channel, along with the specific performance of the air interference systems, or it will limit the frequency reuse factor of a system, which in turn will limit the number of channels within the coverage area. So what actually happens is, as and when the number of users increases, the frequency allocated will be limited, and so it will create congestion, and gradually it will affect the designing or the way the system should work. It will not work properly. So whenever we design a particular handset, all the handsets that will be used in a particular country or a continent are designed such that they will be working on a particular spectrum or a particular allocated band. So this way what happens is, the chances of congestions and call blocking decreases. Now there is a performance criteria of a cellular mobile system. As we already know that a cellular mobile system will perform based on certain criteria. That is, we can measure its performance based on certain criteria. The first one is voice quality. Voice quality is something that will define whether a particular system, a particular mobile system is working in a good condition or not. The another is service quality, like the coverage and the quality of the service. That is how far or how much area a particular service is covering. That is also an important performance criteria. The third is number of dropped calls, that is how many calls are dropped in a particular frequency band on a particular time. That will be defining whether a particular mobile system is working good or bad, or it needs a certain kind of improvement. Special features like call forwarding, call diverting, and call bearing, these are also the performance criteria of a cellular mobile system, because the features like how many calls, say for example, if a call is if a mobile unit is working somewhere and a call occurs, then there is a necessity of call forwarding. Call diverting is also an important feature that is needed, and call barring. So all these things, how many of the mobile systems support all these features is also will also define the performance of that particular system. So as the demand for a wireless service increases, the number of channels assigned to the cell eventually becomes insufficient to support the required number of users, as we already saw. So at that point we need to define certain things like cellular design techniques are needed to provide more channels per unit coverage area. So this is why we are discussing the improving coverage and the capacity in cellular system. So these are certain performance criteria, and as the number of users increases, these criteria may be affected. So we need to take certain measures through which we can improve the coverage and the capacity in the cellular system. But why do we need to improve the wireless bandwidth availability? So for that there are certain things that we need to consider, like how many devices do we currently have access to that requires a wireless band. Yourself, you can examine yourself that how many of the devices are you using, and all how many of them are accessing the bandwidth wirelessly. So for example, thinking about your home, uh, your work environment, your home environment, and everywhere in between, you are likely to have mobile phones, iPads or other tablets, laptops, e-readers, smartwatches, game consoles, cameras, and many other things, especially after the Internet of Things have been introduced. There are lots and lots of devices, lots and lots of gadgets that we use that will be accessing the bandwidth wirelessly. So each of this device may need at least one connection throughout the day, with some continually connected. That is, some of the devices would be continuously connected in wirelessly, and some of them, I mean at least one of them, would require the connection throughout the day. So what happens is, as a result of all these connected devices, we are seeing an ever increasing demand of the wireless band, because the number of users are increasing and the number of gadgets or the devices that accesses the network wirelessly are increasing. We need to increase the bandwidth, the wireless bandwidth. We need to increase the wireless bandwidth, but this growth in the data traffic is placing immense strain on the operator's network. But it will hence, it will gradually affect the operator's network. So there are different ways to improve the wireless coverage and capacity, and we are discussing 5 of them. The first one is adding the cell sites. What does this mean? That when you add a cell site in an effect, adding a cell site is an effective and expensive approach to adding the capacity. That is, in general, adding new real estate is time consuming, and it increases the prohibitivity. That is, we have the way we have divided the our geographical area into the cells. We would be adding more cell sites to it. This will increase the or improve the wireless coverage, obviously, but at the same time it is expensive. It will be effective if you add the cell sites, but at the same time it will be costly also, because it would be something like you have to add a whole new cell to a particular coverage, I mean to a particular geographical area. and because of that you will be adding a whole new real estate that will be time consuming, and it will increase the prohibitivity also. The another possibility or the another way is to add the sectors. Now adding sectors such as changing from 3 sectors to 6 sector is an useful way to approximate the introduction of the new cell. However, this does not quite double the capacity, as the petals of 6 sector coverage do not interleave as well as the 3 sector coverage. That is, what does adding sectors means? That if suppose if we have a particular cell and we have 3 sectors in it, then we divide that particular cell into 6 sectors, and this way it will be helpful, or it will be useful to approximate the introduction of the new cells. The third possibility is by adding the carriers. That is, adding the carriers means, or more accurately the bandwidth, it will directly add to the capacity. The LTE standards in particularly adapts to the utilizing increased bandwidth without increasing the control channel overheads. The fourth possibility is to improve the air interference capability. That is, improved air interference capability such as involving from the UMTS, that is a Universal Mobile Telecommunication System, to HSDPA, that is high speed downlink packet access, that provides well over 4 times the aggregate downlink capacity. That is, we actually move from one particular system to another as the generation changes, that is moving from, for example, moving from UMTS to HSDPA. This will also increase the capacity and the coverage of the particular system. And the fifth one is using the smart antennas. Now antennas are the transceivers, that is, it is used for transmitting and receiving, and there are lots of types of antennas. Based on them we are using those. Now using smart antennas, it will provide the next substantial increase in the throughput. By smart antennas we refer to the adaptive antennas such as those with the electric tilt, beam width and azimuth control, which can follow relatively slow. That is, it will be having certain kinds of additional features like electrical tilt, beam width and azimuth control. Now as well as so called intelligent antennas can form the beam aimed at a particular user or steer nulls to reduce the interference. That is, it will be placing itself intelligently such that it will face a particular user, and hence it will be helpful in aiming that user. And finally, the multiple input multiple output antenna schemes can also be useful. So why do we need to improve the bandwidth and the coverage? Is because we have different we have different lots of types of users, we have different devices, each user may be consuming more than one devices, so it is necessary that we provide different possibilities. The possibilities of the user occupying the frequency bandwidth will increase, and hence it is necessary to decide what are the different ways to improve the coverage and the capacity, or to increase the capacity of a particular band or a particular mobile system. And there are 5 different ways that we have seen in which we can take a control of that. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.